What is going on, my friends? How are you doing out there today is what I meant to ask you. I hope you're doing better than me, because apparently I just had a stroke as soon as I started this video, but I think I'll be okay. I think I'm gonna make it. It's good to see you guys. I've been very busy with projects lately, as some of you may know, and trying to figure out life, how to balance everything, but we're getting through it. So I almost forgot that I needed a video for this channel today. I'm sorry, I didn't forget, but I almost forgot, and that's no fun. So anyways, we have been at Trekker for 3 months now. So I figured I'd just give sort of a 3-month update, sort of what it's like over here, and go from there. I've had a few referrals, and I think that's cool, of course. What I want you guys to do, of course, is look at the company. Does it work for you, and does it make sense for what you're doing? But hey, if you decide you like it and you give me a referral bonus, that's pretty cool too. But I did have a guy. Here's a funny story for you. I had a guy, he said, I went over to Trekker because of your videos, and I forgot to give them your driver code and get you a referral bonus. I said, you need to call them and tell them you forgot because you watched my videos, and give them my referral code, because we're trying to take money from the trucking companies right now, my friends. That's what we're trying to do. Come on, they've been taking money from us forever, right? Not Trekker, not so much, but I'm just kind of messing around. But yeah, definitely, if you decide to come over here, sure, use my referral code, of course. But I'll just tell you about it. It's I'm probably going to say some negative things in this video, but what I'm learning as I get older is that some of these negative things that I'll say have a lot more to do with me than they have to do with any trucking company out there. So I'm getting older, my friends. That's for damn sure. And certainly filling it out here on the road, but certainly, I guess, maybe approaching life a little bit differently now, which makes me a lot more boring than I used to be. Wasn't it fun when I was just doing chaotic shit all the time and just like fucking blowing up my life for your guys' entertainment? Well, I guess I'm not really doing that these days anymore. I've been here for 3 months. I haven't even thought about quitting. Like, it's not even a thought that crossed my mind. Normally I'm about 2 months into a job, and I'm like, there must be something more out there. And I guess I've resigned to my fate that there is nothing more out there, and this is it. This is it, old boy. This is what the fuck we're doing until we're dead. So I guess that's just how it goes. I have been working a little bit on a side project. I'm not begging you guys to go over there, is what I'm trying to say. I've been doing a political channel where I'm not very nice over there, and my political views are much different than most truckers. I understand that. So if you do want to go under there, it's in the pinned comment that I always put up. So if you want to check that channel out, there are some guys that went over there that said, I fucking hate your politics, but I like you, so I'm going to keep watching this channel. And that's good enough. That's obviously helps. But if you guys want to help me build up that channel, that's cool too. If not, because like I said, I am more of a dick over there than I am here. So if you have different politics than me, you don't want to go over to that channel if your politics get you real fired up. That's all I'm saying. But the link's down there in the description if you guys want to join me over there. No hard feelings if you don't. The reason I did that, I'll get to Trekker in a minute. The reason I did that is because I do get very passionate about politics. I get very fired up. And every once in a while, politics overlaps with trucking, as you guys know, and I'll do the topic on that, right? But I've been yelled at by a number of subscribers, why don't you talk about politics somewhere else? And I said, you know what? I've kind of fucking had enough anyway, so I'll just build a whole channel on politics over there. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'll try to keep it to a minimum, but if, you know, politics overlap trucking, I'll still talk about it here. But yeah, feel free to join me over there if you'd like. It's not a big deal if you don't. But if you want to ever hear a bunch of dumb motherfuckers say dumb motherfucker shit, start a political channel. Holy shit, my friends. Yeah, it's quite the struggle, but you know what? I'm getting by. I'm going through the growing pains over there of dealing with that. So anyways, over here at Trekker, look, the negative things that I'm going to say, like I said, have nothing to do with the company, but more to do with me. It's fucking boring. It's boring because it's so goddamn predictable every week. Look, you're going to grab a load probably somewhere in Iowa. You're going to take that down to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. From there, you're going to go to Denver. From there, you're going to go to Iowa. From there, you're going to go to Fort Worth. Look, that's not the worst thing ever, right? You guys know that I've done basically over-the-road trucking for most of my 10-year career. I've done some local trucking, and I've always kind of avoided more of these dedicated routes. I don't know if you would call this dedicated or more regional, like middle of the country regional. My ear is itching on the inside like a motherfucker, and it's driving me absolutely out of my mind. I'll just, you know what? Who cares? I built 10,000 subscribers off of being a fucking slob here on YouTube anyways. I might as well dig in my ear while I'm recording the fucking video, right? What could go wrong? But for me, it just gets so goddamn boring running that over and over. But like I said, as I'm getting older, I need some more stability in my life. I need to make better decisions than I have. Look, I'm not the guy that comes on YouTube and bullshits you, and I work at the greatest trucking company that ever existed, and you need to come over here and work with me. I know I fucked with people when I worked at Swift. I got like at least one video where I titled it "Swift is the best company in the world" or something like that, and that was just to trigger motherfuckers that see the name Swift and their fucking blood pressure rises and they fucking lose their minds. I needed to find stability in my life, and I'm so fucking bored with it that it's driving me out of my fucking mind. But that's okay. That's for me to figure out. And that's maybe why I went over and started that second channel. It just gives me some sort of stimulation throughout my day. Now I spend time listening to politics and trying to understand what the fuck I'm actually planning to talk about. And maybe that's why I took on another project like that. But I can tell, my friends, that I am losing a step out here. I am getting older. It wasn't that fucking long ago, my friends. I would wake up at like 3 in the morning, roll out of bed, jump into my shoes, and fucking hit the fucking road, right? And I know there's some super trucker dork out there going, he just admitted that he doesn't do pre-trips. Fine, whatever. That's not what I meant, though. Of course I do pre-trips. I do the most thorough pre-trips you've ever fucking seen, all right? But at 3 in the morning, I'm up, I'm out, I'm down the fucking road, and I'm doing my thing. I'm stopped by 3 in the afternoon, fucking having a good time. These days, guys, I'll get up at like 7. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, I'm rolling by 8. Sometimes I'm just dragging my ass all morning and I roll by 9. This morning, well, last night I wasn't done till late at night. They gave me kind of a shitload. I had to deliver at 10 p.m. I went in there a little early. I was parked by 10, I think. Now, I was parked by 11, which means I could start at 9. Now, I got there really early, right? I got there really early and would have been able to do a split sleeper. I'm not doing no split sleeper shit. I'm taking my full 10-hour breaks, and that's just the fucking way it is. That's why I got out a reefer. I'm not fucking around with all that, right? But I got up this morning at 9, 9 in the morning. This truck wasn't even moving till 11. I'm just off fucking around, I guess. I'm a space cadet. I have no fucking clue what's going on. But because so much of the stuff is drop and hook here, and then you're running the same lanes for the most part, you can find your places along the way where, like, if it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, you can park there. I've got a few spots now where I can do that. So because it's drop and hook, and it's the same lane so I can find parking, I have gotten a little bit lazy. I'm still getting my loads done every week, but I'm not up at 3 in the morning to fucking go. It's just it's not what I do these days at all. So with that said, it's a little bit fucking boring, but there is that trade-off that I've been getting yelled at by my own viewers for years. Josh, you need to do something more stable instead of chasing miles doing over-the-road freight, and you never know how every week's going to go. I'm doing it. Thanks, guys, for the fantastic fucking advice. Oh, shit. This again? Yeah, it's a little bit fucking boring, but that's okay. I'm in my 40s now. So maybe I should chill the fuck out and be a little bit boring. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. But because it's set up like that, you can count on getting your at least 3 loads in every week unless you take home time. Now, you can push for that 4th load in a week. If you're confused about what I'm saying, if I'm not making sense, I've done 2 videos on Trekker already. Go back and watch those and work your way up to this one. But mainly they try to get you 3 loads every week, and you can obviously do more than that. Now, you could probably get that 4th load in every other week pretty consistently, and that bumps your paycheck up quite a bit, obviously, unless you get the load out of Denver as your 4th load, and then that is fucking, who cares? Denver sucks. Denver's a shit freight market. But if you can get like 2 loads into Denver, you know, picking up that 4th load in a week, that's a good fucking paycheck. That's a good time, right? But you can still get them done. You know, the 3 loads, yeah, you're not making a whole lot of money. $1,200, $1,500 is what you're taking home, which isn't bad. I mean, there's plenty of people that will take that on a consistent basis as a truck driver, right? But then if you're able to crank out that 4th load, you know, you'll clear $2,000, and hey, it's not bad knowing that you're doing the same shit. And like I said, I already gave the routes that we run, the lanes that we run. There's no mountains, and it's coming up on winter time, so you're not going to have to chain up. However, you are going to get shut down sometimes. Anybody else with Trekker or Raider Express who hogs up fucking 287 in southern Colorado for all of eternity? Fucking holy shit. They had 287 closed over there in Colorado week before last or something like that. I-70 was closed. We were all fucking shut down. It was quite the fucking time. But you won't be throwing any chains on this route at all, period, unless you're doing something fucking weird. Maybe you're going like from Dallas over to like I-25 or something, I-40 across to I-25 or some crazy shit, and then you come up through like Colorado Springs, and you might have to chain up there. But if you use like 287 and then out of Denver, you would use, you know, I-76 over to I-80, and then whatever fucking interstates you use to drop back down to Dallas, 35, fucking all that shit. There's no chain laws on any of these. So coming into the winter season, while you may get shut down, you're going to get shut down less than any kind of run where you're crossing over mountains, which should give us some stability through our winter paychecks coming up here soon. So that'll be pretty nice. That'll be pretty nice. What else do I want to say about it? The dispatchers, right? They're not bad. They're not bad at all. They are just doing their jobs, because they will send a message like, hey, what's your ETA to whatever. And a lot of times, me being a grumpy old trucker, I go, oh, mind your fucking business. Why are you bothering me with this bullshit? You know, I don't say that, but I say it to myself in my truck. And all they're doing is their job. They're just asking when you're going to be there so they can plan your next load or whatever. But that used to bother me a lot more with other companies, because I always felt like they were like accusing me of being late or something like that. But here it feels more like they're just trying to plan your next load, and that's a really, really cool thing about Trekker. They don't have any fucking interest whatsoever with sitting their trucks for 2 days and looking for a load for you. I've never ever had that problem here in the 3 months, and you guys know me, that used to be my bread and butter here on YouTube. See, this is fucking me over. Getting a good job is really causing me a lot of problems here on YouTube, but that used to be my good videos, right? When Swift or Western Flyer or whoever would sit me for fucking a 34 randomly when I didn't really need a reset, and they're like, well, we just haven't found you a fucking load. They don't do that here at Trekker. They are very much interested in keeping their trucks moving. So if you're the kind of guy that likes to get out here and fucking work, because that's why we're out here, I know that's crazy. I don't know the amount of times I've been bitched at because I wanted more miles in the week. I guess I was just being greedy, just a greedy old truck driver over here. But they definitely provide that for you. You do keep moving. Very easy to talk to. I normally just shoot a message, but they normally respond pretty quickly if there is some sort of issue. It's just not bad. It's boring. Fucking boring, man. But I think that's what we might need in our lives right now, is like some consistency, maybe a little more boring, because the freight market just fucking sucks. It is what it is, right? But we'll see how that all shakes out, if it gets better in the future, or if if we all just go broke. I don't fucking know. I don't really care at this point. I had a good run, so whatever happens, right? So I do have people like reach out to me sometimes. Hey, how can I get a hold of you? Because I have some questions about Trekker, and maybe you could answer them for me. I don't mean to be a dick. I'm a very busy guy now, especially since I've added a second YouTube channel. I'm uploading daily to that one. And I'm doing this one still Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I should be bringing back my live stream soon if I can figure that the fuck out. I haven't decided if I'm going to do members only videos over here or not. I said I was thinking about it, and now I went and added more work to my plate. I don't fucking know. But what I'm trying to say, what was I trying to say? Oh, yeah, what was I trying to say? People say, can I reach out to you and talk to you? Look, on these 3 videos that I've given you, I've told you everything I know about Trekker, if I'm being honest with you. It's so straight to the point. You know what you're going to do pretty consistently on a weekly basis. Sometimes a little wrench gets thrown in the week, and I know one time I went up to Denver, and then they sent me back to Dallas, so I was all weirded out because I was going backwards. But sometimes it happens like that. But if over my 3 videos you don't have enough information on Trekker, that's when it's time to call the recruiter with your list of questions. They got no reason to be dishonest with you because you can just quit. Right? It used to be a time where companies could blackball you with the DAC report and fucking, if you quit, they'd fuck with you. They don't really do that anymore. So it doesn't, since Trekker is all lease operators and probably some owner operators that have paid off their trucks, it doesn't do them any fucking good to bullshit you and tell you that something happens that doesn't actually happen or anything like that, because their business model is for you to cover the truck payment, to be here to do the lease. So if they're bullshitting a bunch of people and creating a bad reputation for themselves, then they just got a bunch of trucks sitting there empty in their lot that they got to pay the bill on, and no one's fucking driving. So that's all I'm saying. If the 3 videos didn't help you figure out what you needed to know, there's nothing else I can say. There really isn't. It's just the easiest goddamn most boring trucking job in the history of the world, and that's it. So we'll go over it again. Say you're in Denver. I live in Colorado, right? So say you're in Denver, you just enjoyed some nice home time. The only time I took home time at this fucking job too, I got shut down on 287 headed home. I made it a day late. All I did was a 34 there, but I still go home normally weekly. Sometimes that gets fucked up, but I'll stop in for a night, make the family dinner, and head out again in the morning. That's a thing that I do. But say you're in Denver, right? You're going to run to the Midwest most likely. This is most likely. You're going to run to Dallas from there. You're going to run back to Denver. They send you the rates on the load, what you're getting after they're cut. So you're not having to sit there and do math and see if it makes sense. There's no reason in the world to reject a load here, because all they're doing is moving you to the next load in their little freight network that they have. Sometimes you might end up with a spot market load to get you back into their customer freight, but as far as I can tell, it's not entirely too often. But they send you the rate. They send you the fuel surcharge on that load. You accept the load, because why the fuck would you reject it? You just signed up for a company that runs to 3 places in the country. What's there to reject? What are you doing right now? I'm not really sure I understand. I have not necessarily rejected a load. There was one that had a whole extra day on it, and I got a hold of them and said, can I take that in early? It wasn't one of our drop and hook loads. I said, can I take that in a day early? If not, I'm sitting for a whole extra day on that. Here's what they did. They responded to me. They said, let me get with the planner and see what else they got. They got me the exact same load. I don't know who dropped the ball necessarily on that, but they got me the exact same load, different load, but coming from the same place, going to the same place, that delivered a whole day earlier. And it was that fucking easy. It wasn't, I'm rejecting this load and we had a huge blowout or anything like that. There's no reason in the world to reject a load. You need to know that when you leave Denver, the rate's going to fucking suck. So if you come back to my video and say, I left Denver at $800, Josh, you really fucked me over on this. I told you that. I told you that Denver rates out of Denver fucking suck. And then your eyes are going to light up when you're down in Dallas and they send you a load that pays $1,900 to go into Denver. You're going to be like, oh, fuck, that's where all the money is. Well, bad news, okay? You can't always be on a load going to Denver. Sometime you have to leave the motherfucker, all right? So I'm saying all that because if over the 3 videos, this is why I'm not making constant Trekker videos. I might drop one in 6 months. I don't really fucking know. I'll still be dropping my referral link in all the videos, but it's such a straightforward fucking system. If I haven't answered your question in my 3 videos, call the dispatcher. I believe her name's Mary. I think they have another one up there too. I don't remember. I'm not in cahoots with Trekker. We don't have any kind of fucking agreement for me to promote their company or anything like that. It's just strictly, I've worked at a number of fucking trucking companies, a lot of them, right? I have only referred 2 in my entire trucking career. I don't know why people went over to Swift when I worked there. I don't necessarily know why people went to Western Flyer when I worked there, because I wasn't promoting them. GP Transco and Trekker are the only ones that I've ever promoted, because I'm sort of like how, you know how Jesus died for your sins? I worked at all the shit trucking companies, so you didn't fucking have to, okay? So, so you didn't fucking have to. And look, this is the best way that it works. If you live in one of those three areas, or live on the interstates to one of those three areas, you should be able to swing by the house pretty often, as long as you're staying on time on your loads. Nobody's ever fucking bothered me because I stopped by the house for the night. You should be able to consistently plan how much money you're going to make and be trying to squeeze in that fourth load. And a really cool thing here is the dispatchers are conscious of the end of the pay period also. A lot of places don't give a fuck. They don't care when the pay period ends, and you're trying, you know how many times I've been yelled at for giving a shit about pay periods? I got bills due every week, all right? So if I'm out here dicking around for a week, that sets me back for 3 weeks while I gotta fucking pay the bills from the week I was fucking around not making any money, and pay all the bills that are currently due, right? There is no reason for me to have a shit week. That's not the way this is going to work for me, and I've quit a number of companies for that. If you can do your fucking loads, there's no reason in the world for you to not be able to consistently plan, at least, at bare minimum, the very least, that $1,200 per week. $1,500 is probably more like it if you can manage your fuel a little better, and things like that. Make sure you're getting your fuel discounts. They got an app for you to do that. But if you're always trying to get ahead, then you can get that fourth load in every week. I should be able to get it, not every week, every other week, because you'll run out of your 70 if you're cranking that fourth load every fucking week. But you can consistently get that every other week, which gives you two to three paychecks every month that are good, that are really, really good. I had some other point on that. I don't fucking remember what. Anything else I wanted to add to this while I'm thinking about it? It's real straightforward. They tell you what your truck payment's going to be. They give you the fuel app that you can look on that app and see what your fuel discount's going to be at the place you want to stop. And everything's very straightforward. You have a cost per mile for your maintenance, your road tax, and I picked an elective coverage for road hazard. That way, if something smacks the shit out of my truck going down the road, I'm already paying. It's a very small, like a penny maybe, I'm not really sure, but I'm already paying in that to have that covered. They fix everything on the truck. They track maintenance, so they'll let you know you need to bring it to the terminal. They normally kind of plan that out, so you're going to be around the terminal anyways, and then they'll bring you in, they'll get it done. Last time I was there for my service, 50,000 mile service, whichever one that is, they had me in and out in an hour and a half down the road, and away I went. So I'm not going to do a lot of updates on this company because it's just very straightforward. So yeah, just to wrap it up, if you feel like over these 3 videos I did not cover everything you want to know about them, that's where you call the recruiter and you ask them those questions. And also, after you've done all that, put me down as a fucking referral. What are we doing giving them free recruiting services out here? Stick it to these companies every once in a while. Make them pay. Make them pay. Come on now. All right, guys. I'm going to head out. I got to drive a little more, and then I got to record tomorrow's video for my fucking other channel, and then I gotta sleep, and then I gotta wake up, and I gotta drive some more and record the other fucking video. You see what I'm saying? Every day, friends, every day. Bye now.